Good, good. We are back in the blanket fort for the after show.
The after show to episode
After
77,
show.
Ian.
What is the after show, Dave?
The after show. So first of all, we're Team Clearcoat.
Fold your hands.
Yes.
What is the
Yep.
after?
This
we
is
both
the steeple.
we both did this
right?
at the same time
Yep.
for no reason.
Right. Serious talk. This is the steeple. Open the
Yep.
doors and look at all the people.
Yep.
We are Team Clearcoat. We're an automotive podcast.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Normally.
Normally on normal days.
But that's not this part.
Nope, that is not this part. This part is a part that we do called the after show. Because really, when you boil down Team Clearcoat, it's this right here. It's this. You and me, buddy.
Dave
you
and
me.
Ian are friends. The show.
Yep, I'm pointing at you.
Yeah,
right?
and I'm yep.
Point. Yep, pointing. Yep, there we go. Yep.
Yep.
Yep. Ian.
Oh God.
Ian.
What's happening now?
We're friends.
Yep.
Let's talk about non-car stuff on our after show. And if you had any thoughts about how episode 77 went, certainly. So you came locked and loaded. Today.
I am ready to go.
You got one in the chamber.
I've got something that's been bugging me.
Okay.
And I want to address it because I think it's something that I would never ever use the word directed at myself. Expertise.
Oh, okay.
Never.
Okay.
Never. But I have some experience in this particular area.
Okay.
And
let me get
like
in my comfy after show position. Yeah.
Oh, nice and relaxed.
Hey.
I feel like I might be able to. There's been some things in the news, and a particular phrase that's been tossed around.
Yeah.
That has sort of bugged me. Because of the way it's been used, and I want to kind of explain what I think is actually going on with it.
Okay.
So, it's about the news. So, for the short time that Donald Trump has been president,
oh, God damn it,
and it's only been a short time.
Mm.
There's been a lot of talk about the deep state.
Yeah. Okay.
About the idea that either Obama political appointees or professionals, also known as bureaucrats within the government, have been actively working to undermine Donald Trump.
Right. Right.
And I'm not really going to talk about whether or not that there's anything to that or anything like that. I just want to address the term deep state.
Okay.
And what I think, as a group, government employees would take issue with the Trump administration.
Okay. So when you say deep state, what is that term used to describe?
That term is used to describe basically the workings of the government. The government, it's basically, I think, it's basically describing the inertia of the federal government and the federal workforce.
Okay.
That kind of operates without oversight of elected officials.
Okay.
So this is sort of the that we kind of think of, and I think the Republicans have been very good over the last 40 years of sort of painting a picture of the government as this like monolithic thing that moves in one direction and just goes to just works to make things worse.
Right.
When in reality, it is a lot of professionals that are doing their jobs, and then they have oversight of from people who are elected to do an agenda and all that sort of stuff, right? So I think and obviously that bureaucracy has an inertia, and we concentrate a lot on the negative aspects of that, of like why it's bad that it has inertia and why it's hard to get it moving sometimes.
Right.
Like the DMV thing and all
right,
that.
Right.
But that's also a feature. That is a feature, not a bug.
Okay.
It's a feature because the idea is that it does take a bit of expertise and patience and knowledge to be able to turn the ship.
Right.
The idea is that someone can't take power and change everything overnight. And really the bureaucracy, for people who are fans of limited government, really should kind of embrace some aspects of that with the bureaucracy, and it does result in inefficiencies and all of that. And there's definitely merit to tackling some of that. But the other argument is that it's a check against, especially executive power.
Right. Right.
That you have to know how to work those levers to make them work. So, and within the government, there's the gamut of political beliefs and personal work ethics and
right.
everything
Approaches. Yeah.
everything
yeah.
that you would see in a normal
motivations.
Workplace.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
But in aggregate, because of the way the government is structured, what the deep state or the bureaucracy can't stand is chaos or a power vacuum.
Yes.
When there's a lack of direction. So I honestly think, and he's made a point of purposefully not fulfilling all of his appointees, especially at some department like the Department of State is very bare bones staffed right now. Some of the other departments are the same way. And I think what's actually happening is that it's a chaos vacuum, or it's a chaos. It's a reaction to that chaos.
Okay.
Not necessarily his politics, because you have to remember a lot of these people who are supposedly rebelling against him for political reasons have been around for 2 or 3 administrations.
Right. Right.
And have done these same jobs for 20 plus years. So it's not like they all walked off the job when George W. Bush was there. It's not like they're all secret Democrats and are trying to undermine a Republican president. It's that they're reacting against ineptness because they don't know how to govern.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
And so it's process over policy at this point. Like at some point process becomes more important than policy to the bureaucracy.
Right, right.
And that's what I think is actually happening. I don't think it's a political decision that's happening en masse.
Okay. Okay.
So that's all I got.
Okay, so
I've spent my whole career around federal government workers of one stripe or another, and so that's that. I honestly think that's what it is.
Very few things are as upsetting in a bureaucratic or a corporate environment as chaos, right? Without a clear path of leadership, of escalation, of all of this stuff, so many things fall apart. And it just ends up with it ends up emboldening people that shouldn't be making decisions to make them, and it gives them extra authority because people are just looking for a direction, or some kind of orders.
And so it's even worse in the government situation because you can't even have that happen.
Right, right.
Because it's like by law not allowed.
Right.
It would be a felony to do that.
Right, right.
So then you end up with nothing but just of chaos.
Right, right.
And if you think about like the motivations for someone becoming a government worker who's a professional and is motivated.
Right, right.
It's certainly not pay. They've had a pay freeze for like 6 years.
Right, right.
Not
pay, not benefits.
Benefits maybe a little bit, but like definitely not pay.
Right.
For sure. It's stability.
Exactly.
And that stability is no longer there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so now they have no incentive. You've removed the only incentive for the government worker.
Yeah.
Besides a sense of duty, which is a real thing in the ranks of bureaucrats. But like, yeah, that's what's happening. They have no stability anymore.
Right.
They have no direction at work. They may not have a boss. That's the process is what is broken, and that is what is being reacted against.
Right, right. And rather than react against conflicting politics, reacting against a broken policy, a broken process,
broken processes.
Procedure. Yes, broken processes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. I never would have thought about that, but I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think part of it is that we do a bad job of thinking about the government like the actual functioning of the government in human terms, that like
Right.
there's somebody at the other end of that tax dollar doing the thing that we're paying for.
Right, right.
Right?
Yeah.
There's an office full of people doing the things.
Right. Right.
And we don't think about the office full of people doing the things. We think about the government doing the things.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
And that's not how it works.
Right.
It's not magic.
Right. Yeah. Oh man.
So, yeah, I get frustrated with the idea of like, you know, government as this other entity. Like, it's not like your neighbors who go to an office job.
Right.
You know, there are federal government employees everywhere.
Right. Right.
It's like the largest employer and, you know, one of the largest employers in the country. You probably know someone, at least tangentially, who works for the federal government.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and they may be a piece of shit, but more likely they're, you know, a professional who's just trying to do their job and doesn't know what the fuck's going on right now.
Right, exactly. And could be hurting more than somebody with a civilian job. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? So I've worked in corporate environments that they used to be government entities and then were private.
Oh, interesting.
And it was very interesting to see the culture that was still residual from the government days.
Like rigidly hierarchical sort of stuff.
Very, very much. And also very, a lot of like, if somebody did something wrong or didn't do something, a lot of, well, I don't want to get them in trouble.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and you know, it is, I'm not going to lie, it is incredibly frustrating to do, especially in my field of technology, where like you end up dealing with things that are 10 years old all the time.
Yeah.
And you can't get people to move forward.
Right.
But at the same time, honestly, I feel like the Trump administration is the best argument for the bureaucracy that I've ever seen mounted anywhere. Like,
yeah,
because if it was agile and easy, that wouldn't be a good thing, right?
No, it would be a bad thing.
You know? And I think honestly the difficulty, like knowing how to work the levers of government, which is a kind of a cliche, but it's apt here. There is merit to it because if by learning the processes, you end up learning about like why things are the way they are, sort of thing.
Right.
And sometimes it's fucking stupid and it needs to change.
Right.
I'm not saying that that's never the case, but you do you do kind of have to force yourself to learn the policy in a deeper way if you're learning the process, right?
Right.
And so they're very much intertwined in a way that they aren't in the private sector. You know, I think in private sector it seems like process is a lot more arbitrary.
Right.
And
can adapt. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And for the most part in the federal government especially, its process is a policy unto itself because it's what keeps people from going crazy.
Yeah.
And running amok, you know, and wasting your tax dollars and all that sort of stuff.
Right.
So, yeah, that's my deep state rant.
I have to tell you, I never would have thought about that, about a vacuum being quite possibly just as destructive or more destructive than a Cheeto-covered human being.
Yeah, and I mean, personally, I think his policies are fucking abhorrent. But,
right. They're awful. Yeah.
But I don't think everybody in the federal government feels that way.
Yeah.
I mean, just law of averages, the way that the election broke down, there's no possible way that the government is 100% Hillary voters.
Right, exactly.
You know?
So when someone says something like, you know, I'm a Washington outsider, you know, like I'm not a politician, right? Whenever I hear a candidate or someone say that makes them less attractive to me as a candidate.
Right.
Because like that, I don't want someone coming in and just lobbing a hand grenade into, you know, like the llama pit of government. You know,
Right.
I want someone who knows how to talk to the llamas
Yeah.
and get wool from them.
Right. When I was 20, that idea really did appeal to me.
Right, yeah.
But now that I've been around it enough, like I realize, oh, there's a reason for all of this stuff. Like there's a
Right.
reason for all the bloat and everything. And the other thing too is like there is don't get me wrong, I've seen crazy amounts of waste.
Right. Oh yeah, not to say things don't need to change. Yeah.
They absolutely do. And there's stuff that is arbitrary and stupid and needs to be changed. But the other thing that I've noticed is that I feel like politicians definitely attack it the wrong way. Like they attack it from the top down, which
Right.
from the outside does seem like it makes sense. But I think honestly, the departments are so big and the budgets are so huge and there's
Yeah.
so many people that there's no way someone at the executive level would be able to make enough decisions to affect the change that they want, to
Right.
save money or whatever. Really, it would be more about empowering those like mid-level managers who are, whose employees are touching the waste every day, or
Right.
who actually own those processes.
Right.
Like nobody ever talks about nobody ever talks about federal government or government reform in human terms of like, hey, we have these professional people here who can do these things.
Right.
It's I'm gonna make a cut to this department.
Exactly.
I'm gonna appoint a new secretary of whatever and think that that's gonna make all the difference.
Right.
And that's just not how it works.
No.
So yeah.
Yeah. Ian?
Yes, Dave.
Let's first of all, I thank you. Thank you. Because that's honestly like in my day-to-day life and what I digest from news media, things like that. Since I'm not reading the fake news. Yeah. The fake news. I'm reading real news. Real news.
Most glorious.
The most glorious, luxurious, real news. Gold-plated news. Since I'm digesting news, like that kind of editorial is really I really appreciate it because that's not something that I feel like any news outlet that I consume would have delivered to me. Right? That kind of context. I think that's a hot, fresh take on why.
Well, it may be wildly inaccurate. So
no, I don't think. Don't do that. Don't do that, Ian. You made a really good point, a really well thought out point. Don't bat it to the ground, Ian. You did it. See, Ian. Nope. Here's what you do, Ian. You piled up your little stones, all nice and neat.
Yeah.
Fucking stand on them, man. You did. You deserve to.
All right.
You did.
All right.
No.
Anyway, you saw a movie.
I did. Ian.
Transitions.
I love you, buddy. I love you.
Smooth.
I love you. I love that. I like the point in the conversation where I'm figuring out how to engage because what you're telling me is something I've never thought about before. So I'm digesting it. I'm listening. I'm trying to correlate it to things that I know, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then that crosses the line into me telling you I appreciate that process that you put me through to do that, and that's when you have the problem.
Then, nope.
That's when you
shut it down.
Yeah. It's like, yeah.
This is verging on compliment. No, thank you.
Yeah, I can keep like putting it in here, but as soon as I start to put it out there, tennis racket, just
keep it in there. Keep it in there.
You know what?
Nice and tight.
So since on the last show, right, you had to put $2 in the jar.
Yeah.
Right. Maybe a thing for me is when I compliment you, I have to put $1 in the jar.
Well, but then the house will get closed on. We won't have any place to record.
I think for the $1 in the jar thing for our charitable donations, you should just be able to say $1 in the jar, right? Like, All
right.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, Ian, I saw a movie.
You did see a movie.
I've never seen it before. It was completely new to me.
That's usually what happens when you see a movie. Usually.
Well,
typically.
Ian?
Usually. Yes.
It's a classic.
Yeah.
My girlfriend and I
watched
The Sound of Music.
Oh.
Yeah.
We've talked about this on the show before.
Yeah, we talked about
as a very special movie for me.
Yeah,
I love
when
that.
you knew you were a boy becoming a man
Well,
who
I knew I
liked
was a boy
girls.
before that.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yep.
Heterosexual boy. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 And now I think the story is probably more appropriate than ever. For the love of God.
Yeah.
Because apparently Nazis are still around
because they're Nazis.
We have to fucking fight them.
So what do you think about The Sound of Music? So I think it's the best musical ever.
I really, really like the Book of Mormon.
Well, I do too. I would, yes.
Personally, I think
I've never seen Hamilton, obviously, but
right. I think Book of Mormon is my favorite because I was raised very religious. I'm not religious anymore, and I think that it managed to criticize religion, but still not not make people that practice religion feel like pieces of shit.
Right. Yeah. It didn't punch down. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. There you go. And
but
I think
The Sound of Music. What did you think of The Sound of Music?
I thought it was really good. It was fucking long.
It's very long.
It's 2 hours and 56 minutes long.
Yeah.
There's an intermission, you know? Yeah. Whew.
Which is handy. You go pee,
Yeah.
refill the popcorn. Whatever.
Also, that's what the pause button's for.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was really interesting. It's a great movie. The cinematography is fantastic. Everything is beautifully shot. The songs are great. The story is wonderful. Yeah, I mean, for every reason it deserves to be a classic.
I do have one very important question.
Sure.
Which is that you sat, maybe it's not even a question, it's more of an observation and just a bemused observation.
Yeah, yeah.
That you were able to make it through The Sound of Music.
Right.
And yet you have a hard time watching like a 7-minute car video.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, because
how did you manage to sit through Sound of Music?
Well, it's a classic. Like it's like if I had never seen The Godfather, right? I mean, like you have to see that. Like,
I think that's not the right answer. I think the right answer is that you watched it with your girlfriend.
No, because I've watched long stuff on my own.
Okay.
That that is like that there's a weird mix to some media, right? Where it's like you understand it's like a foundational aspect of a lot of pop culture, a lot of references and things like that.
Fair enough. Yes.
Right?
So it's a preparation. It's more of a question of preparation than the actual sitting down to watch the thing.
Yes.
It's if you tell yourself this is important, I need to do this.
Yes.
Then you're ready.
Yes.
You're good.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah. And so I feel like I feel like that there are times when I do struggle, obviously riddled with ADD, but that I do struggle with things like that where it is hard for me to digest like a long linear content, right? And I wouldn't want to watch Sound of Music again unless there was something I knew I was looking for that I missed, or that I knew like next time you watch it, look at the interactions between so and so, right? Like I would probably fast forward to that, right? Or to a couple minutes before it, Yeah. Yeah, and it's not something that I would want to do all the time, but it was really good to sit down and and watch it, especially with my girlfriend who's seen it a bunch of times, and like whenever I see something or something is mine, and like I show it to you or I show it to my girlfriend, and it's the first time they see it. It's cool seeing something new through someone else's eyes.
Yes.
So I was those eyes for her when we watched it, right?
Yeah, that would be cool.
And it was really cool to share that experience of me seeing it the first time with her, like us watching it together.
Right.
That's a cool experience. Not a bad way to spend, a weekend, a Saturday, right?
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, and so but I do feel like there are kind of these really like cultural icons, that like it almost feels like you have to see them. It should almost be mandated in class,
Right.
to see some of these things, right? Like, yeah, I I really did like Citizen Kane. I saw Citizen Kane.
I still have never seen it.
Okay, but
Which is really bad.
I really think you should, because I think you would really appreciate a lot of the techniques that
Right.
went into making Citizen Kane.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've seen Godfather 1 and 2, haven't seen 3, but 3.
Right.
Yeah, like I don't know. I and my pop culture consumption when it comes to those foundational aspects really falls off when it comes to the written word, when it comes to books.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've read Fahrenheit 451,
Yeah.
Stranger in a Strange Land,
Mm-hmm.
and I really enjoyed those. I actually enjoyed The Hobbit. I read The Hobbit. And that was the first ebook I read on a handspring visor. I don't know if you remember those things. It was a Palm Pilot clone.
Oh,
It ran
really?
Palm OS. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Handspring visor. Fantastic device.
You read a book on one of those?
Oh yeah, I read several books.
Oh,
Yeah, I
wow.
read Fahrenheit 451 and The Hobbit and Stranger in a
When
Strange
was
Land.
that?
That would be 2000 and yeah, 2000 2001.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, around then.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Thing ran on just 2 AA batteries.
Yeah.
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 It was
I think
awesome.
I had like a crappy version of the Palm, like really basic version of the Palm around then.
Yeah.
And I never used it.
The handspring was fantastic. Like
Huh.
I actually really liked Palm OS. Like it was a good OS. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway,
Okay.
yeah, this furthers my theory that whenever you get nerds together, inevitably the conversation turns to old technology.
Right. Yeah.
It almost always does, right?
Yeah. And I usually am like, yeah, whatever.
Right. Yeah.
The reason it's not around anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think like are some of those like really cultural like icons for you? Like can you think of like are there albums that you think people need to listen to front to back? Like people, you need to see The Godfather, like stuff like
Right.
that. Like do you think that like Pink Floyd The Wall,
I wouldn't say The Wall.
Right.
I would say if any Pink Floyd album, definitely Dark Side would be the one that like, because that kind of tells you everything you need to know about that genre of rock.
Right.
I would say, I don't know, one rock album, Abbey Road.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
Right.
I don't think I subscribe to the idea of mandatory art.
Right.
I don't think that works. Because I do think that I think it's more interesting to hear like the different orders in which people arrive at things.
Right.
So, I arrived at, Abbey Road at a different point in my life and from a different direction than someone else did. And I feel like if everybody read, everybody reads Romeo and Juliet
Right.
their freshman year of high school, right?
Sure.
Everybody reads that.
Yeah.
Around the same time in their life. And so nobody has a story of like, well, let me tell you about the first time I read Romeo and Juliet,
Right,
because it's everybody's story, right? And so like I think that your experience with art is probably more important than your retention of it or your understanding of it or whatever.
Yeah.
And so like if everybody's experience with it is different, I think that's better than everybody's consuming all the same thing.
Definitely. Yes.
So that would be my answer.
So
a total cop out is my answer.
so I also think that there are some like cultural icons like that where there are so many references to them, like the Sound of Music was to me,
right?
Where like you get it, you understand the reference and how it fits in with the context of whatever.
Yeah, or like someone who hasn't seen Star Wars would be in the same situation.
Right. Yeah, you get it. Right. Yeah, like you could pretty much like nothing is really going to be a surprise.
Yeah, like understanding references without having actually seen the art.
Right.
Yes. Yeah,
right.
I know what you mean.
Yeah. Yeah. So So if something becomes like that to me, then I'm gonna want to see it just to kind of button it up.
Right.
You know?
Close that loop in your
Yeah.
mind. Otherwise, it's just
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
does not compute. Does not compute.
Yeah. Well, it's not that. It's like, well, like I feel like I have even made references to it myself, like
Right.
I should at least see it to make sure like I don't make some dumb reference to it.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, so I finally saw The Sound of Music. I saw Your Girl Liesel. Yeah. And it was a good movie. I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
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 It was fantastic. Yeah. Yeah, buddy. Yeah. What else do you want to talk
This
about?
is deep for an after show.
It
With the
is. I
nature of
know.
art
Normally we just talk about
and
butts.
bureaucracy.
I know.
I think we should end there. I think let's not even try to claw our way out of this.
Don't you have a couple albums you want to recommend?
Oh yeah, yeah,
hit
sure.
Hit us with Ian's hot picks.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yeah. Talking bureaucracy on Team Clearcoat.
Yeah. So there's a couple of things that I've been listening to.
Okay.
Two albums by older bands.
Okay.
The first one that I was listening to was the new Clap Your Hands Say Yeah album.
Okay.
Which I'm guessing is not a band that you are familiar with.
Nope.
But they were sort of like along with the Arctic Monkeys, like that first iteration of the buzz band, the blog band.
Okay.
That hit because of like that they were like popular before they had an album out, sort of thing.
Gotcha. Okay.
And it was kind of them and Arctic Monkeys and like the Rapture in the early 2000s that kind of personified that. And more than any band, Clap Your Hands Say Yeah was always sort of like a cautionary tale for that.
Okay.
Along with like maybe like Tapes and Tapes, because their second album, their subsequent albums weren't great.
Okay.
Their first album was awesome.
Right.
But their most recent album that just came out called The Tourist is really good.
Okay.
It's very indie rockish. The guy has like a weird voice and the whole thing, but it's really, really good, and I can't recommend it enough. So if you liked Clap Your Hands Say Yes first record, way back when, like 15 years ago when it came out, you will probably like this again for the first time. So which is good. And then the other one, there's a new Brian Jonestown Massacre album out, and I love Brian Jonestown Massacre. And do you like them? I feel like you would definitely like them.
I'll have to listen.
Yeah. You've definitely heard some of them because they were big like that mid 90s.
Okay.
Sort of like it was kind of there's a documentary about it and everything. Them and the Dandy Warhols.
Oh, okay.
Like they were sort of who the Dandy Warhols were kind of ripping off a little bit.
Okay.
And their lead singer is like this weird genius dude. But yeah, you would like Brian Jonestown Massacre for sure.
Okay.
They have a new album out, and I really like it. It's a little more, the lead singer isn't out front, and it's a little more instrumental and stuff. Really like it.
Okay.
So the third one that I've been listening to, I can't actually pronounce any of it because it's all in French.
Okay.
But my buddy Rob, who does the
Turn of the Century podcast.
The Turn of the Century podcast that we've talked a lot about on the show, sent me this recommendation like a week or two ago.
Okay.
And I may have had some drinks when he sent it to me.
All right.
And I listened to like half of the first track, and long story short, a vinyl showed up at my door like yesterday.
Okay.
And I was like, I don't remember ordering it. No, I did. But yeah, it's this great French Canadian like sort of kind of prog rock band, but not really, like more like math rock, I guess. That's very good, and it's called, the name of the album is I Love You So Much. I will give Dave a link to the album.
Okay.
We'll give an all music link to the album to put in the description.
Okay.
Avec le soleil sortant des is the name of the band.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, but it's got a cool artwork and stuff. So we'll put a link in the description.
Nice.
Go look in the description, follow that link, and listen to it.
Okay. Okay.
That's all I got.
All right. I have been listening to Run the Jewels 3 still.
So have I.
Right?
Just on repeat.
Talk about staying power.
Yeah.
Didn't do that with the DJ Shadow album.
No, sir.
Nope, but I did pick that one song with Run the Jewels on it and put that on my running playlist.
Yeah.
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 I was watching Silicon Valley the other day. I've been watching that show.
Yeah.
I'm in season 2.
Uh-huh.
And I think they end either the season 1 finale or the season 2 episode 1 episode with a Run the Jewels song.
Yes.
And
yes.
so the way I do it is I'll go to the gym, hit the treadmill on the bad weather days, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'll line up 2 Silicon Valley episodes.
Oh, nice.
Right? I'm a phone on Plex, and I get to stop running for my life when I've watched both episodes.
Okay.
Okay? And because I'm a cardio boy who does cardio things.
Yeah, apparently.
This is what I do. So weights are also very heavy, so I refuse to lift them. Just my noodly arms.
Yeah.
Don't take to them. So I was listening to, or I watched one episode, watched the second one that had Run the Jewels on it, and I think for that day I was running maybe about 10 minutes longer than I had planned. I was feeling good, you know.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, that's like, I just put on like 3 Run the Jewels songs, and then just like slowly was just like every minute I was upping like the treadmill by like 0.2 of a mile per hour. And at the end of it, I was running like 8 miles an hour, just like, yeah, very angry and like, mouthing the lyrics and yeah. That's how you
Hopefully
do a
just
workout.
mouthing.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Just
Not
screaming
shouting them.
Every third
Yes.
mouth Run the Jewels
Yeah,
lyric.
because guess what? I can't say Killer Mike's lyrics.
Nope.
Nope. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that album's ridiculous. It's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yes. Keep listening to Run the Jewels. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and listen to anything that Killer Mike has to say especially about the current political environment, because the guy's on point.
Yeah,
the guy's
he's a smart
point.
dude.
Yeah.
Smart dude.
I
am a sleepy dude.
Yeah, I am too. I'm blinking a lot.
You are. I could tell you were getting tired. Yeah.
Am I slurring my speech like as if I was in a Nissan Quest minivan?
Yes.
I am. Oh.
You started it about halfway through your art discussion. You started slurring a little bit.
Yeah.
I actually thought to myself, I was like, oh, Dave's getting tired.
Dave's getting sleepy. Oh, look at the little guys running down. Running down. This blanket fort needs a sunroof.
Let's wrap it up.
Yeah. So, Ian,
let's get you a juice buddy.
People can find you and I on the internet at different locations, but also the same locations. We're both on Instagram and Twitter.
Yes.
I am. This is how my brain works when I'm sleepy, right? I go full blown Carl Pilkington. I haven't had any Carl outbursts lately.
You haven't.
I think it was a phase. I had a Carl phase.
You did have a little bit of a Carl phase. It was weird.
Yeah, I dug it though. Got to see what I can do to get back to Carl.
I think just sleep deprivation.
Yeah, I think this is it. Yeah. Ian, you're on the internet at I Roll So Hard. EYE Roll So Hard.
Yep.
Twitter, Instagram.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
I am on the internet, Knock Knock Goose, NUK and UK Goose, Twitter and Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, give us a follow. Team Clearcoat.
Yep.
We are an automotive podcast that occasionally does what you've just watched.
Or listened to.
Yeah.
So rate and review us on iTunes.
Please do.
Subscribe on YouTube.
Yep.
And send us email, teamclearcoat@gmail.com.
Yep. Twitter, Tumblr, Facebook, Instagram.
Facebook, all those.
Primarily, we're on Twitter and Instagram more than anything.
Yes.
Mostly Twitter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we seem to be the best reached via Twitter.
Yeah.
By the tweets.
Yeah. I respond to Facebook messages pretty quick.
Oh, okay.
Pretty quick.
Pretty too sweet.
I'm tired.
Okay, let's wrap it up, Ian.
Wrap it up.
Okay. Ian.
Dave, we did it. We
Thanks.
done did it.
Thanks, buddy. Go drive that Ford Focus.
I will. We love you guys.
Please don't get a ticket. And yes, we do love you guys.
Okay.